Dan, 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 Alrighty, welcome everyone. I'm Teeaboo, and I am here for Dandadan. And if it's your first time on the channel, welcome. If this is not your first rodeo on the channel, then you will know that I like to avoid spoilers as much as possible when going into a new show. I like to go in blind, and I've got to pat myself on the back a little bit, because this time I think I've done a bang-up job of avoiding those spoilers. I truly believe that I do not know what Dandadan is about, or anything else about it, with the exception of this one image, which will become moderately important as we move along, which I'm going to put this image in post. I'm not looking at it. I haven't seen it in like, well over a week, which will become important in a moment as well. I have heard hype about Dandadan. I'm intrigued by the type of hype that I've heard about Dandadan, but overwhelmingly people are excited about this show. People enjoy it, people want to see it, and people want to hear what I think about it, which is wonderful, and I'm really excited to be here to deliver. What I actually know about Dandadan comes down to a couple of things. One of those things is that it did this to my most recent poll. Okay. The other of those things is this image. Okay, those two things on their own are more than enough for me to be interested, so here I am, a complete question mark, full of unknowns, diving forward into whatever the fuck Dandadan is about to be. It also might be Dandadan. I think it's Dandadan. It feels more Dandadan. Danny. Okay. I've also tried not to put too much effort into thinking about what Dandadan could be about, because people are so excited about it, and they're not talking about it in that sort of a way. Some shows seem really easy to spoil. People just tell you the premise of it right out the gate, like that's the thing that sells people on the show. Dandadan doesn't seem like that. People haven't really been slinging the premise around, at least not in my circles. People have just been saying, Dandadan is really cool, you need to go and watch it, and you'll understand. Which makes me think that the ways in which Dandadan are going to be cool are going to be kind of tough to explain. Kind of complicated, maybe? Kind of genre-bending? Kind of expectation-shattering and warping-ish? Which is my exact cup of tea, and when you plug that in to, like, my audience and who they think I am and how they see what I like and how they angle shows and are like, this is the perfect show for you to watch, that makes me think that this is going to be a really interesting show that is partly about shows. And I'm really excited to find out I guess I should say, I'm really excited to find out what it has to say. I have seen this image, which I will now go and actually pull up so that I can look at it. Wait, no, I gotta do these in the right order. I have seen this image of Dandadan, and it's something that I saw very early on when I was considering whether to put it on a poll or something, as people were mentioning it. So I go and I look up the show, and I look at the poster image of it. The first one that comes up on Google is all I look at, and I don't look at any of the text and stuff, and it was this image. And out of all the shows that I looked at, all the shows that I've looked at for a couple of years, honestly, this one, bam, stands out to me in the way that, like, Kyosugiga kind of stands out, in a way that certain of the JoJo's posters really stand out to me. I remember a tangled mess of really cool foreshortened bodies, all creating sort of almost a spiral in space as they reach out in different directions. And it felt kind of like fractaloid with all the different human bodies and body parts and hands and things sticking out of it. And it drew my eye and bounced my eye around the image really effectively and just felt cool. I remember also a dude with, like, red and white hair and glasses. And I think he's probably, like, the main character, although my first impression of him was that our main characters would discover him and he'd be weird, and the weird person who would, like, invite them into the weird world where things are weird. I also had the distinct impression that he was very similar to the whatever the guy is in Jigoku Raku, who is also, like, white and some color streaked through his hair and stuff. That was the impression that I got from it. So This morning, before I turned on the camera, I sat down and did a drawing, as I do before every video, which is a challenge that I've given to myself a bit over a year ago. I don't know. I've got hundreds of drawings sitting in piles and drawers and boxes all over 2 houses across the state. Just tons of drawings because I draw before every episode, both to improve my ability as an artist and also because, like, what comes out of that in terms of my verbal and mental fluidity and my, like, artistic sensibility and how my eye sort of warms up and stuff, it all feels really valuable to me to do as an exercise before I engage with a piece of media that could change my life forever, which is how I sort of try to engage with every episode, or at least every first episode, for sure, of a cool new show, because you never know, right? Like, I think it's a really powerful attitude to try to prepare yourself and go in a mental state and a physical location and a set and setting, to borrow a term from elsewhere, that's most conducive to potentially powerful experiences. Yeah? So, my drawing for today, I decided to try to pull from my memory what the idea of the Dandadan poster was, and I have it before me, and I'm going to pull up the actual one so that I can laugh at myself for how weird it is compared to the actual one. But here is what I drew today. Here is the T version of the Dandadan poster. So we have our hair and glasses boy reaching out toward the corner of the screen and creating some of that foreshortened effect. And then I totally forgot any of the character features of the other character, so I made her, I think it's a her, into like a mannequin. And I know that there were a bunch more characters around, but I wasn't gonna be fucked with drawing them because they're all just like that chaos cluster of human limbs and stuff that's artistically really interesting and makes it all look like a flower and stuff, but I don't remember how they were oriented. And I don't think that the boy is oriented like this. He's probably reaching a different direction and stuff. But anyway, this was my little fun attempt, and it gets to live up here in place of Chainsaw Hearts. Hint, hint, the Chainsaw Man movie is on the Patreon. It's okay. It'll probably be up on the YouTube before this goes up. But let me now go ahead and pull up. Okay, we'll go through Mal. Oh, it's a different poster. I'm gonna get spoilers. That's okay. I'm watching the fucking show today, so it's fine. Oh shit. Oh, I'm seeing so much stuff that I don't even want to try to compute. Oh shit. Wait, I have spoilers. Okay, we got our image. Okay, all right. Boy's in the middle. He's definitely not carrying her. Oh, they're pretty equal in terms of how much of the frame they're taking up. He just stands out so much because he's like supernatural. There's something weird going on with him. We've got all these other characters. We've got a lucky cat in the background. Got a. I'm reading an archetype here. I don't know what the archetype is. This is like a sensei who I think is carrying a bokken or a sword and is gonna beat you, but is like kind of sexy, but in a horrifying way, like prison warden vibes, teaching us stuff. Maybe side character girl with pink hair. I mean, in a different show I'd expect a switch here with pink-haired girl being main girl. Hell, in a different show I'd expect this to be main boy. Doesn't he look exactly like the Gridman main boy? Looks exactly like the Gridman main boy. Huh, that's interesting. And then there's this beautiful spiral in the background that lends it all space. But it's really the limbs. It's the angled limbs and the fingers and legs. Bing, 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 bing. Creating weird twisting, warping of space. But it also means that they're leaping out of the screen toward us and toward the title, which he's kind of reaching out for. So I don't know if Dandadan means anything. The title, I don't know if it means anything. I took it as just like, that's a cool set of words that I could go Dandadan about. I've definitely seen, and I didn't realize that they were pictures from this show, but I've seen people posting like GIFs and images of this character, probably the female MC, because she's got like the crossed over hair in the center. I can't really tell how ahoge her ahoge is. Like, I wonder if she's a dork. I wonder if he's a dork. I wonder if they're both dorks. So previously, in my mind, I was thinking that it was going to be like a normal boy and a normal girl meeting this guy who would be weird and take us to a strange land or introduce us to the unsleeping city and stuff. But there's this image over here where we've got a normal guy with glasses. So I'm thinking that we're actually on equal footing, that it's you and me together, our little romantic pair, maybe non-romantic, doesn't have the vibe, but who knows, our little potentially romantic pair becoming friends and discovering, going out there and exploring all the weird that's out there. Maybe we'll actually be equally matched. Huh. Okay. That's my whole set of everything that I know and don't know about Dandadan. I just discovered that it's by Science Saru. If I knew that before, I forgot it. I would like to know who the name of the director is, and then we'll watch the show. Fuga Yamashiro. Oh, no. We did look at him at some point. Maybe it was when I put the poll up or something, but 2 episodes of Eizouken storyboarded and directed. I don't remember which episodes they are, but pretty much every episode of Eizouken is kind of mind-boggling. And worked on both Tatami movies, right? Walk On Girl, Time Machine Blues, and then comes in with Dandadan. It makes sense with Science Saru being where we're working. Okay, I need to reframe. This is going to be dramatically different from any show that I've watched in years. To a degree of difference that's like, I don't know, like Edge Runners versus everything else that year. Or like Devilman Crybaby versus everything else that's ever been made. Oh. Okay, I'm excited in a different way now. Because my initial thoughts were pretty vague about how this could potentially be a show about shows or a show that changes the landscape of shows. But now that I put it in context with Yamashiro directing and it coming out of Science Saru, okay, that's very exciting. I don't know what to expect, and that might be the best thing to have coming. Awesome. Let's stop dancing around it. Let's watch the thing. I have episode 1 of Dandadan up and ready to go. I've downloaded the anime time version. Should be a good version, and I'm going to watch it in the original Japanese with English subtitles. If you would like to join me on this endeavor, there are 2 primary ways in which you can do that. There are picture-in-picture videos linked in the description of each video, and there is a timer, which is the primary YouTube video that's meant to last forever. I highly recommend downloading your own copy of Dandadan or acquiring it from whatever streaming services it's currently available on, and syncing that up along with the timer-based version, as I cannot guarantee the longevity of the picture-in-picture versions. The world, I believe, is going to move in a direction away from them, and I think I'm going to move in that direction preemptively. I haven't locked in and made the decision yet, so I'm still continuing doing everything the way that I've been doing it, but I believe that I will be phasing out picture-in-picture versions entirely coming soon. So, with that in mind, I highly recommend setting yourself up with the timer-based versions and your own copy of Dandadan to watch along with me. On those timer-based versions, there will be a beep-beep timer. It'll go boop, 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 beep, and on the beep and the green light will be synced up in post, the exact frame where I press play on my viewing copy. So you will be synced up as best as possible with what I've been watching. And I will, over the next weeks, be working really hard, and I've already been working on it, but I really want to buckle down, working really hard on building out a set of tools for making that syncing as easy as possible, and also making it possible for you to pause in the middle and pause both videos and be able to go take a piss and come back, stuff like that. It's in the works, and I don't know how it's going to go. There are some genuine technical hurdles involved that I want to overcome, but I'm willing to put the effort into doing it at this point because I think it's necessary. So those are our versions. You're welcome to come along with us. there will be early access to every week's video up on the Patreon. When a video comes out on YouTube, the next video will come out the same day-ish on the Patreon. So the Patreon will remain 1 week ahead. So if you comment to the YouTube videos and you see comments from a week ago, those will be Patreon comments. And at the beginnings of episodes, sometimes if there are really interesting comments that change my ideas about a previous episode or something, I'll talk about those in the beginning. And mostly just because of logistics, those end up being pulled from the Patreon comments. So if you want to be engaged in that sort of more direct dialogue about the show, the best way to facilitate doing that is to throw $1 to me on Patreon and be there for the early access, there in the Discord to communicate with your peers and with me about the shows that we're watching, and there in the comments as soon as the videos drop on Patreon to talk about these things. And put your hat in the ring, throw your ideas out so that I can hear them and have them as part of my background going into the next episodes. I think that's everything that I have to say here. Thank you so much for joining me. Let's go ahead and watch this weird thing that I don't know what to expect. Whoo, boy. This should be a good one. This should be a really fun one. I want bombast. I want color. I want insanity. And I want to be a little bit overwhelmed, but then to come back around and be like, huh, I really like the way that overwhelmed me, and I can put myself back together afterward, yeah? Not just blown the fuck over by insanity, but I'll take that too. I want something that's not quite like anything that I've ever seen before. That's my hope for Dandadan. Let's watch episode 1 and find out what it actually is. I have it up and ready to go. 2 versions, picture-in-picture in the description, timer on YouTube, early access on the Patreon, beep beep timer to count you down. Let's go. Whoa! Oh shit, it's rap! I see the crab and I go bake. Whoa! Whoa, these painted on visuals are awesome. What is that? What is that? What is that? What is that? What are these CG situations that we're doing here? They look like video game renders. Oh my god, that's almost like a direct reference to one of the... Whoa! I've never done this. I have never stopped at a show like this in the I don't have words. It's ogre, guys. It's ogre. What the fuck? I don't know how I'm gonna put this back together as a video, but I've messed up my recording now. Golly goodness, do I have to drop a Dandadan OP reaction only? I might. Holy fuck. Okay, no. Here's the deal. I wanted to pause because I need to wrap my mind around this whole thing. I know that that's probably not not what I should be doing here. I should just watch the show. But what the hell? That was like the coolest art piece that I've seen in forever, and I watched the CSM movie 2 days ago. Freaking out. I'm unable to get an earphone in my ear. Oh, I did not know that was the opening when I did in the beginning. That's so funny. Okay. It got energy. Oh my god. instant energy. We get it from color. What was the first thing that I said? I was like, I want color. I want bombast. I want blown out, oversaturated, fucking spray paint into your eyeballs. I feel like I have spray paint in my eyeballs. And then the first moment of any visual that we get is the, like, crispy eyes. We get the, like, a very slight head tilt, so we see just how 3D and, like, how precise it is. We go fully understated, and then we, through the course of the OP, we take us to, like, dramatic animation heights. Like, a calligraphy coming to life, real ink on paper, actual watercolors. I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna puke. I'm gonna puke, and it's gonna be rainbows. Okay. So the lights and colors are reflected on our characters. Bam! Shing! We get this slight tilt. Oh, they're not reflected. It was just fading through. Okay. Oh my god. I'm sorry for losing my absolute shit over nothing here, but I really, really want to hone in on these first, like, 3 frames. I'm of the opinion, and by opinion I mean I think it's an established tradition, norm, that the first frames of your thing should be the most important thing of your thing. So what the fuck do these frames say? And I'm not meaning, like, in a weird, ethereal way, like, what do we mean by the fact that there's a boy's face? Bam, connection. Okay, we're connected to this character. And then the first thing that I really notice is that his nose doesn't exist, but it's there, okay? Right, like, it doesn't exist in terms of lines. There's no outline around it. It's not in space, but it's there. And that then is revealed to us as he begins to tilt. Everything has more depth and complexity than you expect. That's what this frame says to me. And then he pulls away the eyes and his eyes shift, right? Because he's 2 people. He's the other guy and he's this guy. He's the red, streaky whatever thing, or whatever the fuck the monster that he becomes in a fucking jolt of redline energy. Ah! God, that's cool. Oh, God. It's already just sunk into my mind like a grappling hook with barbs. It's just in there. Woo! Am I taking crazy pills? No, I'm watching crazy shows. Okay, bam, bam, boy, girl. Expressive. Oh, and our color palette's insanity. Okay, our highlights are this teal. Our whole palette is this, like, pink red with these green streaks and the deep. Well, what the fuck? Mirrored by the strange neon digital. I wonder what. Because it's like, it's digital, it's LEDs, but it's also, like, paint street signs, punk. She reminds me a lot of a character from JGK for obvious reasons. It seems like we are in the decade of hot, bodacious, older female characters with white hair. I don't know. I'll take it. I don't mind. And then the lighting that bing and sparkles on her ears. Everything he does changes perspective on him. These are wonderful, wonderful faces. Just crazy. Bam! Dandadan. Okay, space! The final frontier. And then space all gets warped down, warped into the eye, which is a tunnel into forever. And then we drop into what I read as, like, Pacific Island traditional style stuff. It's not, though. It's not actually from a thing. It's just interesting. But they have that kind of stencily read of, like, hieroglyphs or Pacific Islander tattoo styles with the repeating shapes and repeating forms. And then we get them doing sumo. What are these entities, these mask creature things? I don't know. I love this sort of stippled style. It really looks like spray paint. I wonder if it's digital. I wonder if this OP uses mixed media. I have no idea how they did any of this. Actually, that's not true. I know that some of the scenes are CG, but they're like unique CG, so even then. So it like lifts, and then as it's gonna drop, it becomes a different creature, like the skeleton of that creature. We've got Big Crab, which then immediately reads to me as Monogatari style stuff, so maybe we're in the spirit world and things. That would track. A really beautiful, looks like painted, or maybe a filter applied over it, sequence of these outlines. Bam! Really gorgeous. And then into full reality. Okay. And then there's this stuff. Again, it looks like painted on with a stencil. There are layers of processing over it that make it appear at least as though it's on real canvas or paper, but they might be just effects layered on top. Just like the strange lighting things that are going on throughout it. It's like, I have no idea. And then we're layering blocks and chunks of color and depth onto it so that it's like a seething face in the darkness that you can only catch little glimpses of. A grand monstrosity. Super spooky. And then multiple sides to him, some weird stuff going on there, and he emerges in this beautiful, again, painted style at least, but this one really looks like it's real paint or real ink. And yet, as I look at it more, I'm thinking it's digital. Because there are digital tools that look a lot like this, but fuck. It's like he melts into these shapes. I know that I've seen this animator's work before. Whoever this was, I imagine, I don't know what I've seen their work on, but I know that I've seen it before. Okay, so we go from our most stylistic, stuff dissolves into shape and is not even color, just bleeding shapes. And then our most realistic with these CG sequences that are really beautifully mapped. And all the trees have eyes. I just realized all the trees have eyes. I don't like it. They're really beautifully mapped, and then we demonstrate we can match our characters to it and use this sort of watercolor tone on them to make it fit, and it fits. So it's like our characters, because they can travel through all these styles effectively and remain themselves, it's like they can travel through dimensions and worlds and ideas and things and be changed and shaped by them, but then come through to the next one. So is this an anthology discovery of weird things series? Like, kind of like, I don't know, like Fringe? Something like that? Where it's like, ooh, look, an alien invasion. Ooh, look, an ancient monster from under the ground. Like, things like that. Ooh, a scroll that's a mystery. I'm down. Ooh, a hidden temple where strange things are afoot. And then even in these CG moments, there's a deep painterly artistic sense to the way that they're textured. So that's why they feel like video game renders. They genuinely feel like a misty environment that I could fucking walk into, as opposed to like a background, right? I feel like I'm embedded in it, like I could actually be a part of it. But then when I look at the outsides, there are drawn elements too. Wow. Okay, so we spend some time with these characters making cool faces and expressions again. And this one stands out to me so much because it is the style of the Soul Taker. This is... And also of Golgo. Okay, I'm not going crazy. It is Tazaki. This sequence, this one right here, where she drops into this stark black, dark color with these single tone deep highlights, is exactly the tone of, holy shit, why am I so bad with this? Of Akiyuki Shimbo, especially his early work in The Soul Taker, and it's almost exactly like some of Osamu Dazaki's like kind of later work in Golgo 13, which has some moments that look exactly like this too. It's so striking and such a cool stylistic choice. It lands so fucking well. Yeah. Just this moment, all the features drop away and it's just darkness and shadow, and then the landscape becomes all darkness and shadow, and it's her. There's this like nail sticking up, but these would be crosses. Okay, they'd just be crosses. This would be a graveyard, and then suddenly we're in Shinbo land or Dazaki land. It's so fucking cool. And then it goes photo negative again, a like perspective by lens shift kind of a vibe. There's some connection between these two. We'll figure it out. And then, of course, the connection between our mains. Creepy Nuts. I don't know who Creepy Nuts is. It's a very strange little dance moment. It's dope, though. Especially the edge lighting is really dope, but it's very strange. I think it works best as like cementing all the insanity that's just come before. Each piece of this OP really fits with all the other pieces that have come before to like expand our what the fuck a little bit. You know, because here we got the same crab thing, but now it's in a suit. It's like, what? Excuse me, what the fuck? Okay, all this drops away into this sequence, which may or may not be animated by the same guy who did the where I said I've seen this animator before. I'm thinking not. And then, boom. And then, okay, so whoever drew this, I think, has a very similar sequence. I think this is on traditional media. I think they have a very similar sequence in Ping Pong, at least. But holy fuck, the level of of detail and emotion in the face as he runs, this is gorgeous. Like, striking, gorgeous, incredible, holy shit. Real big standout. And then hyper-realism in between, or not hyper-realism, but like anime realism. Boom, super detailed anime realism. And then whoa. And then whoa. So that bursts into this frame, which now that I'm watching it again, it more than anything reminds me of Guts and the Wolf. You know, the armor. A thing that you are, kind of, that you embody sometimes, but maybe are at odds with. And deeply similar in some ways to, like, the running Devilman. Whoosh! And then almost exactly like the red line opening. And for the first time, we see this creature in full. And then we're off into strange space, multiple impact frames, punches. Gorgeous. And as we're punching, we're flaring between people. Not just as impact frames, but in reality. Boom. And here we are, back to back against the world. A little bit fried, but looking up together. Ah. Okay, so how do I cope? How do I exist now? I think the only thing to do is to go back to the beginning, watch it through again, and then cut the original, like, so the timer version is just the original version. Like, the first reaction and then the thing, and I'll mention that there will be something cut in between, and I'll put that at the end. Great. Holy fuck. Let's go back to the very beginning. Let's retimer us in so that I'm all synced up. And try number 2. Dandadan. PiP timer again. Holy fuck. What? Well, that's a strange reversal. Okay, so I will have watched the OP and then stopped and then restarted, so that'll be at the end. R slash breakup already, please. Please. Margaret! Hmm. Oh my gosh. That's how love starts, you know. Oh, it might be romance. I don't know who that is, but okay. Not a good reason. She likes the bad boys. Drag. Someone, anyone, but not you. No, let's see. Oh, bully him. Hello, boy. Oh. Birth of the Aerospace Self-Defense Force guarding outer space! Some kind of otaku. He's got a little pineapple head. It's not quite an ahoge. It's like 12 in different directions. Oh? What? It sounds like he's repeating it. Brilliant. Oh. Oh, it's Ancient Aliens garbage. UFO! It's different. Deeply different. What is Poe? This is true. This is true. Oh. Oh, great. Okay. Style swap. Well, were we just looking in through one of his glasses? But a little bit of self-awareness. Our character animation's really smooth and silky all the way through. The swing off the steps was gorgeous. Your true powers have yet to awaken. What if that actually just happens? What if it's all real? I do love that kind of story where it's like, it's all true. Aww. That's fucking funny. That's fucking funny. What was that? So now he's the skeptic? I love the line that it creates. It's the way, it's the way. But it's both. That's the twist, right? That's the twist. We're gonna be each other's. Aww, and that's how love starts. Oh, we're going creepy exploring. Fuck yeah. What? Abduction. Wouldn't you like to find out? I can't rule it out. It's whether you remember it. Oh, cool. The ghost location. Is this the tunnel? Oh. I'm guessing they're both true. Creak, creak, creak. The internet says it must be true. You know, wind is spooky. What? Quiets it down. Netto. All the flashlights are so gorgeous. I'm just lost in it. Well, it's absurd that you believe in UFOs. Is the grandma the one with the baseball bat? Oh, and we're getting real connection now. I wonder if it's to keep you from being abducted. Ooh, is that other boy? Ooh. Why are we doing that? It grounds us so deeply. Yeah. Yeah. We're really playing with perspective and stuff now. We're setting up for stuff to be unexpected and for jump scares. Whoa. Those were footsteps on the wall. Are there other things going on here that are hints? But they're making connection here. Real connection. There's really something here. What? Fuck that. Oh, shit. Better run. It's Turbo Granny! Holy fuck, it's exactly like JoJo's. Kotowaru. Oh, the aliens! Holy shit! That's what they are! You're about to be abducted. It's all real. Oh, Jesus. Hi, Serpoians. Mm-hmm. Oh, no. Yeah, the classic. We are seeking some kind of growth. I'm sorry, what? Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, I think you have made a mistake. I think you've made a mistake. Oh. Oh. Well. Turns into Ken Takakura. This is pretty creepy. Good for you, Momo. Oh. She's a spirit medium. It's grandma. Man, we're really going in on the rape thing. That's why. Whoa! Well, something unexpected has happened. What? Is that you? Is he hybridized with Turbo Granny? How did he come through the smartphone? I don't know. That's gonna be him for the entire show? Oh, what are they really? Oh, they're those things! They're Serpoians! Give us your bananas! Banana wa kudasai! I don't think the aliens will be your friends, they just want your bananas. Buddy. Let's go, kid. Oh! Wish granted. Or not. Hey. Nah. That tracks. Sexist bastards. Weird rape aliens. Yeah! Yeah! She's restrained it! She's restricted her own spiritual powers because of trauma. Yeah. Beam! You got it, Momo. You got it. So wait, is that what she's doing when she's spinning with her hands? No! Oh, never mind. Yes. Hip. Ding! Let's go! Die Buster. Yeah. Let's go! We are the dynamic duo. The psychic and the ghost fused alien believer who doesn't believe in ghosts? Yeah! Yeah. Same moment. And it's the same bullshit, the same guy after her virginity. Did he just shatter the moon? Guys? Yeah, how are you doing? Bananas. Give me your bananas. Oh, wait, no, they're the banana ones. He wants weenies. Can she exercise him? Oh, fuck. What can we do? We gotta get back to Earth. Yeah, I can't help it. I guess we're friends forever. Yeah, you're gonna have to beat her down and make her yours. Aww. It's my fault. I'll take responsibility. Oh, no. She's in it. And you would have died if he wasn't around. Not worthy. Stuff like that is a pain. It's the line. It's the line of her guy. No. No! It can't be the way that love begins. Welcome to love, darling. Alright, hit me with an ED, blow my mind. What? I have so many whats, and they don't fit in my bag. I got a bag full of whats, and it's overflowing. This is gorgeous. I love it. So how do normal people see this cat? I don't know. As a cat? I have no idea. What a prankster. We got 15 seconds? Okay, I'll watch this one. Hey, be in sync with me. Okay, that was insanity. That was a dense 20 minutes of absolute insanity. I feel like my brains have been taken out of my head, scrambled, fried in a couple of different ways, and put back in my head, and then shaken it up. Woo! What a blast. That was tight. As soon as I come away from just the emotional load of that, it's immediately apparent how tight that was. The way that when you watch a band and they hit every note and every little bit is all right on time, it's all just crisp. Tight. For an anime, that means that you can take all the pieces and like a big, like, blown up expanded diagram of an engine, you can sort of pull them all apart and see all the gears and bits and how they all work together. And if you're actually capable, I'm not, so don't worry about it. If you're actually capable, you can imagine that the whole thing is one giant machine that all works together perfectly. When an episode fits just right, the whole machine runs just right. This episode runs just right. Holy shit. Oh. So it starts with the OP, right? All of our expectations and the energy that is delivered by putting the OP first, by skipping the bullshit of, like, let's withhold the OP until later. I mean, I think there are really sort of two schools of thought from what I've seen, from what I can infer about where you put the OP. Either you put it at the beginning of your first episode or you don't. If you don't, then you put it at the end of the first episode or the beginning of the second episode. Fine. I think if you have the option to, and you have the right OP, and you design it as such, the opening can be your cell. It can sell the tone, it can sell the energy, it can deliver on all the promise of the show without having to deliver all in one moment, one interaction. It can transcend the bounds of the sort of time-locked nature of anime where you have to sort of watch the whole 20 minutes for it all to make sense, and just do the thing that's it all making sense and jam it into your eyeballs. Like, I use the phrase spray painted onto your eyeballs, but like, you want to know what Dandadan is? Bam, minute and 30 seconds. Here it is. You watching the show? You going to continue or not? The answer is you're going to watch the show. You're going to continue. And maybe some people get bounced off of this opening. I can't imagine it. But if they do, good. They weren't going to watch the show anyway. So it delivers in seconds the whole of the thing. Some dank action, some cool contrasted sequences, some intrigue and mystery, and some fucking fun. All with the energy, all with the sort of punk attitude, sort of crazy we can do anything style. Bam, and there's the OP. And the effect that it has, and this is me leading into the portion where I'm going to cut to how I actually responded to the OP, the effect that it has is this. I don't have words. Okay, and so that's how I came into the episode, was with that as my backing, with that as the first thing introduced to my eyeballs, and the same is true for everybody that watched this show. That was your first introduction to Dandadan. I think you were probably bowled the fuck over by it, right? Was anybody not? Was anybody like, oh, this seems alright, I suppose this might be okay? No, you might have been like that before you pressed play, but seconds after pressing play, it's like, whoa, we're in it! We're getting catapulted off to another fucking world. I think it's brilliant. I think it's brilliant. It's one of the simplest things that you can do. Just choose to have the OP and make use of it, right? Don't make a bullshit OP that's just like meandering around with some melodies and being like, I don't know, maybe we're friends and stuff. Fuck off. Fuck off. Make an OP that delivers the premise. Right? Treat your OP as that elevator pitch for your show. If somebody watches that and they enjoy it, they're going to enjoy the rest of the show. Boom! What a fucking bop. What an incredible way to open. Striking visuals, energy out the gate, the capacity to do real detail, some locations that will rhyme, and then really impressive chaos that builds over the course of the thing. Oh, before we enter into the show itself. I think because the OP is so high energy, it gives us the opportunity to do a little bit of a lower octane introduction and build up, right? Sort of the way that a house song, you get the drop and then the beat drops out and then you can build it back up again and for it to drop out again, right? If we just start the show with this, the episode feels dramatically different. If we just start here, it's intriguing, it's doable, it's watchable, but it's not the same. We start at the maximum high and drop it down, so we know that that's our trajectory. We know that that's where we're going to get back to. So we drop down to this moment with the boyfriend and the breakup, and it's a low point for the character and an introduction to the character, but it's like a subtler introduction. It's not quite as in your face. It doesn't need to be. It didn't land for me, or it didn't click for me until we get the UFO sequence and the rapiness of it, which I don't love, frankly. I don't love that as a premise. But now that we've come to the end of the episode, I start to see it as the intended core premise is that this character, Momo, is seen by pretty much everybody as a sex object. Jeez, that fucking sucks, doesn't it? And you find out that the supernatural is real, and they want to abduct you to fuck you too. Great. Damn, that sucks. So, it's like, oh, it's the duality of man-woman. Okay, what's the experience of being a young woman in the modern world? Everybody wants to fuck you and nobody cares. And if you happen to like Ken Takakura types, you're going to be dating only shitty-ass bad boys who suck balls. Sucks. What if you're a dude? Well, you're a sensitive dude who likes stuff. Nobody cares about you. Everybody bullies you. The duality of man. Not really, just like the reality of existence. Huh. Once I frame it that way, it's not just commentary or criticism, really. It's like presenting a character whose reality kind of fucking sucks. After all, characters who turn their attention to the more than real, the supernatural, are often characters who wish their real world wasn't so shit. Huh, it doesn't really register that way at first because, at least for me, because it's so... Wow. It's a hard realization. It doesn't even register for me because it's so kind of normalized. Like, it's clearly shitty, and I'm watching, like, a shitty boyfriend be shitty to his girlfriend. I was like, okay, you should be absolutely break up. But it doesn't even register as thematically important because it's so fucking normal. Damn, that really sucks. I'm full of it. I've had enough of you. You're broke and you're not putting out. She's just left to call him a taco. And her friends are classic Gyaru obsessed with appearance. Yeah. I don't know what to read into that exactly yet. And I don't necessarily think that there are deep reads on all of these things. But the thematic tie between that being her opening moment, the sexual desire there, and then the rapist aliens is too perfect. Oh, and then the opposite tie would be like, I guess there's weird pervy shit happening to your boy as well. He's got Turbo Granny after his weenie. It's fucking weird. Really deeply strange. We're gonna just exist in strange space, and probably I shouldn't think too much about it, but it is probably important that we're existing in this really strange space. He looked like Ken Takakura. I don't even know who that is. I don't even know if that's a real person. But the importance is that it's going to be his name. So, we get the little fight back and forth between the boyfriend and between Momo and her boyfriend at the very beginning. And then we get this, the characters are all sitting around just doing sort of basic character animation stuff. And then there's this leap into highly emotive, super fluid, very simplified, cartoony style, and we demonstrate such range in between that we can really take these characters and deform them as much as we want. I think that the OP helps establish that because we see them so crystal clear and so like high fidelity rendered, and then so distorted and one color frame paint splatter sort of things. So we can take them all the way through the range and take them very seriously and take them very hilariously and not seriously at all, which I really like. I think it fits her character pretty darn perfectly and reminds me a little bit of, what's the female lead in Jujutsu Kaisen? Sorry that I can't remember her name. I think that's shitty of me, but like there's an element of that ability to bridge the gap between seriousness and humor and become really deformed and silly as a character design that I think is it's unique to anime, you know? You can't kind of have like a super good looking character and then become really silly in their expressions most of the time, unless you've got Jim Carrey and he doesn't really fit the role of like the crispy good looking character. It's hard to do, but in anime you can deform your perfect Chad character into a silly goop and then back to a perfect Chad, or your sort of like cute girl into like an insane gremlin and then back to being a cute girl. And I think that ability to play with your characters in space is something that this show leans on really heavily, because we're able to make things completely a joke and then bring them to a place of real horror by making them feel real. So, for example, it's an extreme joke when he pulls out a giant dick penis, robot penis, and goes, "We're coming for your bananas." Ha! It's very silly. But then you frame her strapped down for real, and there's a hand looming over you, and it's like, oh, I'm being raped. This is legitimate. Like, bad. The power to bridge that gap and bounce between is really powerful. It's really powerful stuff, and we demonstrated in, like, minute 2. It's a core anime thing, and we're going to use it to its maximum. I love it. We get the introduction of the line as well, and I think that the style shift helps embed the line for us. It helps make sure that we note this, so that we'll recognize it later. Dudes like that are extinct, but of course they're not. There's one sitting in the classroom right down the way. Camera follow. I think once we get to next scene, I'll start to talk about, like, vibe of overall production before things get really crazy. But the camera following the character is just one, maybe our first element of evidence that all of our features are kind of working together. It's a really silly thing to point out because it's like the difference between bottom tier anime and slightly above bottom tier anime. And what we're really interested in this show, I think, is the difference between top tier anime and god tier anime. We're interested in that threshold, not these lower things. But I still think it's important to point out, when we have the capacity to do creative things with the camera, we should be doing creative things with the camera. We should be guiding the character, the viewer's eyes around. We should be following characters. We should be demonstrating that we haven't just drawn the one frame that we have, and creating more space and more reality and more camera and more perspective in the show. I think that throughout the episode, we demonstrate, like, really incredible composition and compositing and camera movement and stuff around characters. So just to note that we start doing it really early, it's going to be throughout everything because it's the baseline, right? Because it's that threshold between shit anime and pretty good anime, we have to we want to be sure that if we're going to be angling for this being really good, then it's got to nail those, and it fucking nails those. I love the little foot drags here. They remind me a lot of, like, some of the vibe and aesthetics of trigger shows of Little Witch Academia, where we, like, hard cut to creatively expressed emotions. That's what this feels like to me, and I really like it. It also continues to expand Momo's range as a character. And bam, there's your boy hiding behind his magazine, getting bullied, and it's not exactly clear why she goes and sits down. We're not given a reason. There are a couple of instances in this episode where Momo does something and we're not given an explicit reason for why she does it. She sort of says in so many words that it's just like, it's a pain to do it otherwise, like it's easier to do it this way. But what she actually does is sits and defends him. And if there weren't this look at the other boys, you could dismiss it as something else, but she's very explicitly sitting and defending him. She feels the need to act. That's pretty cool. Maybe something of an element passed on by her grandmother? Who knows? Protecting the defenseless? Who knows? But of course, this act gets misinterpreted because boy is boy, and I've been there. I understand this idea. Here's how it works. Nobody ever talks to me. So if somebody talks to me, they must love me. It's the only possible reason. Girls, they ignore me. I'm invisible to them. But I know, because I've learned from media that there's a thing called love at first sight and the one is going to know, and they're going to love me at first sight, and they're going to come right up to me and be like, hi, what's up? And deliver themselves into my lap. All I have to do is wait, and so I will wait my entire life, and as soon as a girl looks at me, I know that that's the one. Guaranteed. Was that a cashier just being nice? Definitely not. That was the one. Waitress smiled at me? The one. The only. Time to obsess over that for 3 years. It's a vibe, man. I get it. I feel it. It's real. So she's trying to just be nice. It kind of blows out of proportion, becomes something else, because he knows exactly what's really going on here. So we get back to the dragon. It's even draggier, and the feet come up more, so they're more like more Yakuza-y is sort of the vibe. It's more like a Yankee walk with the big wide, like It's so funny because the first walk is so dejected, and the second walk is like, I'm so fucking pissed about all this shit. God. Miss Momo Ayase. So he already knows her name because he's an otaku. Of course he does. I know you're in love. And the way he says it is as though it's like, God, the voice actor did such a good job. It sounds like a little recording on a bird or something. It sounds like how a parrot would say it, repeating a thing back that it doesn't actually understand how syllables work. It's just repeating a thing. And so it sounds so stilted and busted. Okay. I love this scene. I really, really like this scene. I've probably seen 1,000 scenes in hallways in a Japanese school with a stairway, right? There are probably a million ways, little slightly different ways to shoot a scene like this. I feel like the space is really well established. I feel like I understand where the characters are throughout it. I feel like the angles that we choose facilitate the flow of the conversation and the feel of emotions through it. The president has already gone to Mars! What is Project Pegasus? We've got fucking lizard people, we've got Illuminatis, we've got the president on Mars. Holy shit. You are a fan of the occult. Oh yeah, I don't believe in UFOs or aliens. It's not a UFO. It's a UAP. They're different. The U.S. military has officially acknowledged the existence of UAPs. Yeah, that happened not that long ago, and has reformed the Space Force, which is very strange. It's very strange, and there are other reasons for that. This is a strange thing to bring up. I have a shocking, like, way outsized compared to my knowledge of other things, a shocking degree of knowledge specifically on the Star Wars Space Force programs that were implemented first by the Reagan administration, and then also modern programs dealing with ballistic missile defense in and out of space. So things like the dome, and the various missile defense systems that are through Europe, and just the ones that Japan has, which are pretty fucking fascinating. They're mostly U.S. tech. I have a bunch of knowledge about this sort of weirdly brought about because in high school I spent time in policy debate, and we came up with a case that was basically designed to undercut all of the cases that everybody else was running one year. So one year that I was doing policy debate, and during this year we ended up going to states and placing at the state level for California, which was pretty cool. But my partner and I, in policy debate, basically everything links to nuclear war. You try to say that whatever policy your enemy is putting into place is going to lead to nuclear war, and that's pretty bad, because it eliminates all of humanity. It's really bad. And they're probably going to try to say, no, actually not doing it will lead to nuclear war faster. That's the base premise of how policy debate works, is like, because we're dealing with impacts, we're going to go for the most impactful impact, and that's the extinction of humanity most of the time. So we're going to argue that whatever our opponent is trying to put into place as a policy is going to lead to nuclear war. And the case for the year was something along the lines of the United States federal government should substantially increase its presence and something else in space. Put shit in space. People, mechs, robots, satellites, whatever. Put stuff in space. We should put more investment into putting stuff in space. And then all of the people arguing have free reign to decide how they want to argue we should do that. But it's like, we're going to invest more money into space. Where's that money go? How do we do that? What should we do? And on the flip side, it's like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do that because it's going to lead to nuclear war, so let's not do that. And on the flip side, it's like, well, we should do this because it's going to prevent nuclear war. Won't that be great? Our case was Brilliant Pebbles, or Smart Rocks, which are a bunch of a huge constellation of very small rockets called kinetic kill vehicles. They're little rockets that are built to, as a cluster, lock on to intercontinental ballistic missiles and shoot them out of the sky. It's pretty simple. Like, you shoot the rocket with a bullet, and then it doesn't blow up. That's the hope, anyway. Our premise was basically that our opponent is going to try to argue that our investment into this will lead to nuclear war. We're going to do the project secretly, and then by the time that it's up, nuclear war is not feasible anymore because it literally undercuts the capacity of nations to wage intercontinental ballistic nuclear warfare. Yeah. So this was in 2010, 2011, 2012, we were running this case, and we made it to the state level and lost on the other side. So, like, we won all of our cases when we were on the affirmative, when we were pushing that Brilliant Pebbles solution forward, because basically our opponents would fold, like their case would fall apart. They wouldn't have the ability to make their impacts land because they wouldn't be able to prove that other countries would know that we were launching these satellites and that their capacity to wage nuclear warfare was being diminished over time. They just wouldn't know until we sort of revealed it. And then once we revealed it, there would be no point because all of the ICBMs that Russia's holding, all the ICBMs that the United States is holding, all the ICBMs that China's holding, they are irrelevant now. They just get shot out of the sky. So if you want to deliver a nuclear warhead to a city, you do it the old-fashioned way with a plane, and that means in some ways, we posited a much safer world, a world in which one button doesn't lead to Armageddon for everyone. So anyway, yeah, this was in 2011, 2012, long before there was any sort of real push to reform the Space Force or put Star Wars back into play. And I think fundamentally the world has shifted in a direction where the play towards Star Wars is a very different one now than the one that we were arguing for then. And while there's some, I don't know, some like latent enthusiasm in me that's like, oh, those are cool ideas that I've actually researched and argued for a little bit, and there are actually some cool ideas present there, I think mostly it's a farce, and I'm sad about it. Anyway, I wanted to just do an immense tangent for no reason on all this Space Force shit, because I think it actually genuinely interests me, and is a field and sector that I'm genuinely interested in. Any way you look at it, they're getting ready for Space Wars, and the scary thing is that I think that's true. So she dodges and dodges. Shut up. I don't want any of this. And we get this other style for her. So typically otaku. So totally annoying. That's why you have no friends. Yeah, we are looking at him through the eye. Okay, so that's where it switches. This is really cool. We're looking at her through him. Shift, bounce, and now we're in the glass. And then shing, now we see him. Ding, now we see him in full. Ding, and it all crushes him, pushes him into the background, and lands as harsh. He drops his little book and we just leave it. Don't talk to me like you know me. Damn. And then she stops. Okay, so here's another. I really love this scene. I really, really like this scene. So she walks off of screen, and then the camera follows her because she stops. It truly gives the impression of like, wait, damn it, I'm being a dick. It just nails the emotion of the scene. She turns back, she looks, and then we get this beautiful swing of her leg, and then the way she walks across this scene. Sorry, a bit much. The weight shift forward. Swing, click. She sort of, pendulum the weight. You sort of, you like lock your foot down and you kind of go, and let the weight fall into your next step. Because we can actively walk where we're like striding forward. You know? Fuck. That's a meme. Shit. But we can also sort of like fall into our next steps. And the way that we walk is different depending on our emotion. It speaks volumes about how we feel. Wow. Brushes off his little book. Here. And gives him what she thinks is a little give an inch, right? I don't believe in aliens, but I do believe in ghosts. And his response is that he doesn't fucking believe in ghosts. Ah! That's the funniest thing you could say right there, isn't it? You're a true, complete believer, but not in that. Not in the one thing you believe in. Ah! Perfect. The funniest option. Huh? My grandma's a spirit medium, and that's where she's gonna get it. Okay, and then she jumps into being suddenly we're in a Kyoani. What the fuck? I mean, not even. It's just so silly. I guess it's the camera matching her flow here that pulls so much of the weight. Then there's also like a wipe that happens as she crosses over. Wow. It's not proof. Grr. Can't say I hate it. I really like that. I like that her friends, while they are judging, they're not judging like super negatively. They're just like, that's cool. She's doing her. That's good. Shobuda! If ghosts exist, you'll be my gopher. And his response is, well, if aliens exist, you'll be mine. I love her, like, her blocky little eyebrows. They're so weird, and I've just realized that they interact with her hair pieces. Interestingly, they almost interact like letters, like kanji, you know? Because like her hair is almost hito. That's hito, right? I wonder if there are any times where her hair actually says things. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll show you. No, wait, they're not UFOs. They're UAPs. He gets it wrong too. Oh, that's too fucking funny. Bam, cut to it. Okay. So now we jump from there to setting horror tones, and it's beautiful. How did they get me to have the inference? I think I'm supposed to have it as we go. How did they get me to have the inference that they're both going to be real? I'm not sure. I think there are hints scattered throughout both sequences that there are real things going on, like the footsteps on the wall is one of them. I wonder what it is here in the weird, creepy hospital, if there are any other things that are, like, obvious. But the scene has another purpose. It lets us have a fully mind-to-mind communication between our two characters. They're in separate spaces, but they're communicating in an intimate way. It's almost as though their voices are just in the backs of our heads, right? Because we're talking directly to each other. And it's in this conversation that they actually see each other most clearly, I think. And I think it's really cute. It makes me believe in their relationship, I think. And I think it's the moment as they start to reveal a little bit of vulnerability about themselves that they start to genuinely see each other. I love the light throughout both. Its flashlights just lose me in it. There's a sequence that's like really flary of him moving the flashlight around in the hallway of the big tunnel. But I really just like the framing of light and shadow throughout this whole sequence. It feels cool. It also, I have the sense, although I don't have direct reference knowledge, I have the sense that there are a bunch of animation references being used here. Like scenes that are really reminiscent of other famous-ish horror scenes in anime. But I'm not positive. I just wouldn't be surprised if there are a bunch of things that are more referential than otherwise. I love how we build darkness in space here with the light, as though the flashlight just can't quite reach all the way into the depths. It keeps the unknown lingering in the periphery. I love the discussion around there being a chance that I've been abducted by aliens and just don't know it, and the way that he continuously deflects, because at this point in our show, while he is a true believer, he is not a seer or experiencer. He is not someone who actually knows, right? He's fundamentally exactly like everyone else who claims that UAPs exist and that psychic phenomena exist right now in the real world, which is to say almost certainly a liar, almost certainly confused, almost certainly incorrect. Sorry if anybody watching this believes wholeheartedly in phenomena of the supernatural variety, but there's a $1 million prize called the Randy Prize that was up for a long time for anyone who could prove their psychic stuff, and it went fully unclaimed, and I think as long as prizes like that go fully unclaimed, there's a lot of speculation and a whole lot of grifting and a whole lot of money to be made off of telling people who would love to believe that there's more to our universe that there is. Whether you're doing that down a religious, spiritual path, a ghost worshipping path, an astrology, tarot type of path, or UAPs, ghosts, aliens, I don't really care. It all seems kind of like a grift to me. Or like the people caught up in a grift who don't realize that it is one. I don't deny that there are deep, true believers, and I think that comes down more to the human mind's ability to believe in things that are not true than it does to any actual evidence of the truthiness of those things. So I think at this moment, when he's doing all this deflecting and stuff, he is a perfect example of what you will really meet when you go and you meet UAP enthusiasts or believers in ghosts and abductions and the spiritual. When you get down to the nitty-gritty of it, it is belief and faith that is at the anchor of them and not some evidence or some truthiness. How are things on your end? Bam, and we're here. I've arrived. So we limit ourselves entirely to her side until here, and here we are, and he's as or more scared than she is, which is pretty cool. She's kind of the fighter, you know? I love the flashlight beams all throughout. There are going to be too many little individual examples for me to go through, but the way they flare and blind us instantaneously, the way they illuminate things and leave others in darkness, I think they're gorgeous. I think the flashlights are awesome. Awesome. I guess it's here. Throughout this sequence, Momo doesn't interact with the physical space at all. She's in it. She's shining the light around it, but the light is doing the interacting. She doesn't touch anything. She's not connected, not grounded. Here, similarly, not really interacting, not really grounded, not really sensory here. And then there's this whoosh of wind. And his hair moves, and the space is changing him. It's affecting him, and it's affecting us. Now we're here. Now we're grounded. Now we're in it. Now our kind of only lifeline to the outside world is the phone. Now our only human connection is the voice. We're restricting down. We're pulling everything together and pulling our focus together. We want to be here for the moments of the reveal. And we want to be grounded for them because they're going to be so ungrounded and silly and absurd. We want them to shatter reality. That's my take here. That's my vibe. So as we come from like normal things to sensory, like touch, we're in the tunnel. She's touching the wall, right? As she begins to talk about her grandma, she touches the wall by the window. We're grounded into the space, and it's from that grounded into the space location that we can be afraid, and it's that fear that can be shattered by something strange and unexpected. Because that's the vibe that I get, is like fear gets shattered by not what you're actually afraid of, but by something much weirder and much less expected. I really like it. I think it's really cool playing with expectations. Oof, the darkness pulls and it pulls. That sort of sets up the way that it'll pull him back in a little bit. What is Too Shy Boy in this moment? I'm assuming that that's like, I don't know, I assume that it's a song or a thing, but I don't know. So, have you seen a ghost? What? Here's that scene with the flashlight. It's kind of absurd how it's spinning around here, but it's also freaking gorgeous. It's really cool. Like, it creates the entire space. It's absurd that you believe without seeing. Funny that even he, a true believer, would call out something like that. I love the lens flares and the like sparkles of... They're kind of almost Kanata style, but instead of being striking single color, they're like woven over the thing as lens flares. I don't think I've actually ever seen anything quite like that. Huh. She walks past this barrier. Somehow this feels like another step in the direction of being here, of interacting with the environment, of being sucked into it. And then we cut away and we're in memory. So we actually get intimate enough here that we're in her mind, seeing from her perspective as she describes. A good luck ritual. Training you to use your chi. And then the boy that I liked. He's got pretty pink hair, so I'm wondering if that boy is going to be our, like, secondary boy in the thing. Because of that weird ritual, the boy I like hates me. And she puts the hand down and refuses to do it. Okay. Extreme jump in, like, difficulty of cut here. As we come out of that memory sequence and we touch the real space that we're really in. Run those fingertips across the wall. The shadows shift. There's, like, reality here. We're connected. We're in touch with things. We're here. I stopped doing the ritual, but I get pissed when someone else makes fun of my family. And now their faces are aligned. Bam. I didn't catch that before. Their faces are precisely aligned. I realized I didn't hate the fact that the boy I liked didn't like me. I hated that he made fun of my grandma. I loved her and her job because it felt special. Because it was. So for somebody to insult that or claim that it's not true, the seed of her faith in ghosts isn't about ghosts. It's about believing wholeheartedly in a person she cares about. And I'm not sure what his root faith belief is. It might be from that rejection that he experiences from everywhere else. From needing to find something out of here to believe in. That seems to fit some of what I said earlier about, like, people who don't have something else turning to the supernatural. But for her, it's personal, it's human, it's tradition, and it's family. She turns away and the mirror is revealed to be shattered. I think it's a really cool moment. It's really intricately put together. Like, especially the real part of her face, the part that's not in the mirror. How it takes the space here and then turns. It's, like, really smooth, really crisp. And then we're matching their faces again. Bam. Oh, wow. Yeah. So they achieve, like, a kind of synchrony over the course of this sequence. They're walking. Do we start with them walking different directions? Not really. They're kind of throughout doing sort of the same things, sort of exploring the places in the same kind of way. But the feeling as though they're, like, getting in step as they go is definitely throughout, and I think it's helped a lot by matching their face shapes. So why do you believe in aliens? It doesn't matter, but he's embarrassed, right? Do you need a reason to like something? And it's once the tension is on the conversation that suddenly something that you should really notice, right? Now, I wonder if there's something that she should really notice, or is it just the light coming through that's different? I think it might just be the light coming through that's different. We sure like to talk bluntly over the phone. It's almost like and the flicker. Blinded by the light. Footsteps. You're pretty easy to talk to. Shoop, cover the camera. Shoop to the darkness. What a reveal. Okay, and then what did I say before? In that close, intimate, locked-in space is where we have the opportunity for a horror jump scare. But instead of that, we shatter expectations with the weird. Bing, there she is. Her eyes flash and roll around, and what she says is so absurd that it shatters everything. It's like, what the fuck? And I think that's the attitude of the show right there, is that everything's fucking crazy. Absolutely absurd, insane. The rules kind of don't apply. What is taboo is the space that we're going to play in. humor. Let me gobble that weenie. And we're running. Whoa! Introducing Turbo Granny. Turbo Granny is going to be his partner. His soul bond is going to be to Turbo Granny. That's the least expected thing I could have ever unexpected. I love it. So her phone goes holy red, which sets up for the next portion. Ding, 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 ding. God, they're such a cool, weird alien. What a wonder. And then they rip all her clothes off. Eee, gross. As far as cool, creepy aliens goes, top tier. Absolutely perfect. As far as playing upon genuine human fears of being, like, molested and stuff, which is the core alien premise. It is like a core premise of the alien abduction scene is there's a weird fetishistic element of people getting probed. Both for true believers who believe they've been probed by aliens and changed, and also for people who imagine others getting probed by aliens. There's a layer of it here. So I think my immediate, I have a visceral response to this whole sequence, which is, ew, I do not like that we're doing this. But then when I think it through, it's like, okay, I very much understand why we're doing this. One, it's edgy. Two, it fits the theme, fits the aliens perfectly. Three, it's fucking wild. And four, it lets us have the aliens say the most absurd shit, like give us your bananas and make the big dick robot thing and stuff. Ew. Still, I do have an ear to it. Just all the way through. It's gross. It's scary. I think there's something about the way that they present their premise that demonstrates to me that our author is very aware of themes and tropes and stuff. Because this is a common premise for why would aliens abduct humans. It's to experiment. It's to find out how we reproduce because they've lost the capacity to evolve. Bingo. Perfect. Or like robots making people in order to have the same reason and stuff. To push the future forward. It's really cool. And terrible for you. We want your bananas. Do they mean genes? Do they mean genes? Have they... Here's my mind, is that, like, the banana has way more chromosomes than the human? So, like, do they think that chromosomes are bananas? They want our bananas? Or they also say your ovaries and your bananas? So maybe they think penises are bananas? I have no idea. The cut to here is perfect humor. Perfect comedic timing. A perfect insane visual. Perfect layer of horror underneath. This fits the kind of, like, 70s, 80s action horror schlock movie where, like, zombies are invading, but for some reason they tear all the clothes off the sexy lady character and she's screaming and covered in blood and lingerie, right? It's like, what are we doing here? And the director's like, it's a masterpiece. It's perfect. It's perfect. This gives that. It gives me those vibes. And there's a part of me that's like the artistic crit part. That's like, oh, yeah, feminism doesn't agree with this. This is, like, bad. We shouldn't be doing things like that. Don't touch those. And there's a part of me that goes, metal! Hell yeah! What the hell? I think I want to foster the hell yeah, what the hell part for this show. Because, like, at a certain point, you gotta enjoy the zombie action, blood, gore, guts, titties schlock, right? Because it's wonderful. If that's what this is gonna be, I'm all in. We will extract, your uterus and your banana for research. I wonder, what banana do you have? I don't know. So, yeah, here, where she screams, and then we get the hand on face, and we're looming in, and this is getting toward real horror. And then demonstrating that she is actually psychically potent. But yeah, though, like, real traumatic horror. This is... Yeah, gross. Ding, 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 ding. we're only able to take it to such a peak because of the intent of the scene. The intent of the scene is to put her in danger, but danger that she might actually be able to fully escape herself, right? Because she's got the building power going on. The interruption just glues our two worlds together and does a wonderful fucking job of it. Suddenly, red enters our all-blue scene, and bam! There he is, and he's a contorted horror of himself and Turbo Granny. She likes weenies. She really likes weenies. Gross. How are we gonna manage to get him in control of Turbo Granny? It's gonna have to be one of those, like, I'm in control of the demon inside me type of things. But instead of being like a dank-ass, dope-ass Chunibyo dragon, it's Turbo Granny. That's so funny. I wonder if using his power forces him to be a weird pervert, too. That would be funny. Could get old. Not even we have technology like that. I love the color background. It turns our whole scene into a total chaos clusterfuck of action color. Let me gobble that weenie. The aliens move in weird alien ways. I love it. Because they're actually bionicles. I don't even know what to think here. And then our sequence devolves into absolute insanity. We've got magic alien laser powers. We've got Turbo Granny hybridized with our boy. We've got an emerging psychic goddess. We've got it all. Okay, so it's here that we get... I've been wanting to see aliens for the longest time. I thought at least aliens would be my friends. That's the root of it. He wants so badly to believe, but you never came. Nobody cares. Nobody but her. They're totally different people. They disagree about everything. But one choice, one action that she barely even thought about, changes everything for him. Bounces back and is about to change everything for her. Her root faith is in her grandma. His root faith is in desperation, perhaps. My root faith is in people. And my favorite stories are the ones that are rooted in people and our ability to change each other's lives. To change the world dramatically in the space between two people. I think that what we've set up is a premise, a status quo that is shattered by this moment more than anything, where she breaches a social boundary to go talk to and sit next to an otaku, which has more impact than she thinks it could have on him. He believes it's more than it is, right? But that one tiny action that's like out of line of your norm sets something in motion that's, well, it's got the potential to change everything about everything for you. To reconnect you to your grandmother, to yourself, to the world, to the love that you're seeking, and for him to have a connection outside of his isolation, it means everything to him, even though it means nothing to ISA in this moment. This is the moment. But Miss ISA, she actually stood up for me despite that. And his emotional outburst is beautiful. So don't you lay a finger on her. I won't allow anyone to hurt her. And if it's for her sake, I'll even become a monster. It's a perfect set of protagonist lines. Something to fight for. Something I'm willing to become a monster to do it. Oh my god, all the pieces are in place. It's just that all of the pieces are the weirdest possible pieces. The monster that you're becoming is Turbo Granny. The monsters that you're fighting are weird sex aliens. And also, she's probably more powerful than you! Warp, and The reality is that she's the one who breaks free. She reconnects with her own power, not his. He doesn't come in as some savior. She shoots Chi out the top of her head. We get, my brain says Diebuster. Here. Actually, wait. No, that's just Diebuster. Bam, boom. Yeah. And she's a goddamn dope-ass, super fucking cool-ass psychic. Boom! So she can finally deliver the game-ending kick that she wasn't able to take her scumbag boyfriend down with. And instead she takes these scumbag, sex-obsessed aliens down. Same deal. Same bullshit. Different level. New powers. Capable of achieving. Fuck you. Shatters through the glass of the weird moon thing that they're in. Breaks us out of the weird moon that's actually not a moon. It's just a UFO that's floating there. We go grayscale, which also reminds me immensely of Gunbuster. And we need to use those psychic powers to control him because Turbo Granny is inside him. Holy fuck, that's gorgeous. Whoa, boom. Wow, some JJK shit. So we're going back to the tunnel to maybe get his weenie back? I don't know. He tries to take all of the responsibility on himself. It all happened because of what I did. She says, why can't you ask me to come with you? He says, is it okay for you to help someone like me? Essentially, I'm not worthy and you're too far above me. And I love her response to it. It's the second time in the episode that she makes the right decision without saying why, kind of. Or like, implies that she follows a moral compass that she doesn't believe in the words of, necessarily. Doesn't want to admit it, perhaps. Is it okay for you to help someone like me? Stuff like that is such a hassle. What a pain. Just put your fucking pants on and let's go. She gives him a kick, and that leads to the line, which seals the deal that he is, in fact, Ken Takakura. And that's our Dandadan. I like it. It's insane. Irreverent. That's the word I'm looking for. It's deeply irreverent. And yet it's really high quality. It's not uncommon to have irreverence and low quality, right? Satire that's just cartoonishly taking the piss out of something. And when you do high quality, I think the tendency is to go sincere, because fidelity and reality lend themselves best to like deep romance and grand tragedy and stuff, you know? Mystery, suspense. When you have the opportunity to bridge the gap and to do insane, cartoonish satire really sincerely with very high quality, that's when you get to that playing with expectations level, and you can really shock your audience and really create some fun confusion and tension. And that's what I think that this was. I think that was a really fun 24 minutes of confusion and bombast and tension and glorious absurdity and silliness and off-the-wall wrongness. Like, whoa, that's wrong. Whoa, how's that gonna work? And it all ends up feeling right at the end. I said sort of like a half-baked idea about how I wanted it to be chaotic and to rattle my brain around, and then I wanted to be able to sort of come back afterward and be like, oh, there was an idea there. That makes sense a little bit. I think I can wrap my mind around that. Here we've got this sort of through line of her defending herself against assholes who want her for only one reason. We've got the romance established throughout. We've got the way we build connection and intimacy between the characters leading up to this insane set of reveals about UFOs and ghosts being real. It feels like a fever dream in the moment, but afterward I come out going, actually, I do think that made sense. I don't know how the pieces of the machine all work, even though we've just gone through and looked at a whole bunch of them. But I think I have faith in the machine. I think I really like what it's producing, and I think I really like the vibes that it's putting out. So, there we go. There's episode 1 of Dandadan. That was a blast. I really enjoyed it. I need to go to Sakakaburu because I need some answers. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Azura. Oh, this is the drag. And then the light, flashlight. Okay, cool. Artist unknown. Lights, mirrors, space. Feels really good. Artist unknown, just walking forward. Little kick. Very, very good character-y stuff. Totally. This is the explosion at the end. Oh no, just lots of character animation and talking. Okay, cool. Ooh, creepy body. With all the lights flaring in the background, making it all like a crazy disco experience extravaganza. What fun. Momofuji. Things going red, cling, 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 and then capture by slash, 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 slash. Captured. Myon! Hi, Myon! Oh, wait, is this the light flashing around, or is it just the whoosh? Oh, it is the light flashing around as well. That actually tracks. I feel like we saw a Myon cut either in Jujutsu Kaisen or in Mushoku Tensei that had similar light flashy stuff. Okay, interesting. Ooh, baby, and there she is. And then we're running, and it's pretty cool. All right, cool. Creepy, 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 creepy. And there's some genuine, like, it's good sexualization, but bad because it's rape, but it's, like, very effective. Ugh. Drag. It's so sad that this is artist unknown. I bet that this is somebody who's done cuts a lot like it. Okay, and then we get the other side and some of the facial expressions that go along with it, and the whole of this interaction is listed here, but is artist unknown, including this sequence. And this sequence is so distinct, I think I've seen this animator do something elsewhere as well, but I don't fucking know where. And here's that first really goofy distorted sequence. Our walk, our hold, our turn back. Really lovely character animation throughout all of this, but I think there are multiple animators in these cuts. It's too bad that so many of these are artist unknown. Wham! And there he comes. Boom! That's such a cool visual of him climbing out from the phone and then biting an alien dick. Weird. Akihito Sudo. Oh, this is all the flaring. Where have I seen you recently? Black Clover, Shingeki no Kyojin, Fate Grand Order. Okay. Momofuji. Ooh. Okay. Shatter, sparkles. Shing. This moment right here. Man, fuck. This post has a child post, okay. Oh. Is the Genga for it? Oh. Okay, I need to find something really quick. Man, I don't know. I just spent a long time trying to look through for a particular diebuster cut that maybe my brain has invented, where Nonon stands with like arms crossed as all these light flares appear behind her, and I thought that this moment, particularly right here where we get her face sort of light up with all the sparkles around, I thought it was a direct one-to-one ref, but I can't find it anywhere, so maybe I made it up in my brain. Who knows? Anyway, I think it's a really beautiful scene. It shows Momo as like incredibly powerful and cool. I think it's rad. Let's continue. Here's Pseudo with more explosions and the warping in of the UFO. Changri Chu as the explosion behind her when she asks, yeah, what? Nice. Myeon. Oh, I see you, Myeon. Doing some weird shit still, are we? Yeah, you are. Oh, this big spatial shift, too. Yeah, boom. And then the weird bleh. Whoa, I love how we alter and then zoop. Our momentum gets stopped and pulled back. That's cool. Artist unknown. 3D background. Yeah, running. Wow. It's a cool set of cuts. In cylinder. Really gorgeous. Really gorgeous. I love the color and this like strange gradient in her hair and the little sparkles going all throughout and the light beams zipping back and forth. That's really cool looking. And Genta Ishimori for the top cut on the episode, which is this one that goes grayscale, and then everything's falling apart, and we're kind of battling it out, and then she whomps that spirit back. It's just incredible. I wonder if Genta Ishimori is the person who did the OP portions that are so interesting artistically as well. Looks like a lot of it, but I'm not sure. It's gorgeous, and truly an incredible cut. Okay. Dandadan opening is riddled with references, I believe it. Ooh, the director of this has become the co-director for season 2, along with Fuga Yamashiro, which is really cool. More paper cutout and hand-drawn scenes than one would expect. Extensive pencil sketches and paper cutouts. These are full paper cutouts for the stencil-y portions? Animating the frames to simply make them look like it. Actual paper cutouts and a combination of pencil sketches to bring the animation to life. A traditional approach, like having more cuts that were done on paper and pencil, because it's not so usual lately in Japan. Yeah, and it stands out. It absolutely stands out. Yeah. Proud and happy of being able to pull it off. Okay, so that teaches me something about it. The team behind it, production notes on Sakaka blog. Yes, please. Result of repeated failures to get serialized. Draw whatever you please without overthinking it. Without real planning, pure uplifting entertainment, cheering himself up with it too. Dark themes, but an uplifting series. Whoa! Trope of crossovers between fantastical foes playing action figures. Let's go. Okay, I'm gonna sort of tokusatsu lens, rom-com scenario, and we're gonna skip ahead a little bit. It's Kameda! That's why everything feels like that. It's Yoshimichi Kameda for all the alien and yokai designs. That's what's going on. That's why everything's Kaneda style. That's why we've got those fucking light flares everywhere. Oh. Carve out space for other artists, I agree. But he's left behind the design work. Okay. Not an active contributor anymore. Luxurious hands for every aesthetic department. Onda as character designer, and A animation director. Implied three-dimensionality can be a poison pill for unprepared productions. That's what we get in moment 1 when we've got the face, right? It's that features don't exist, but they're there, right? They're implied. They're there at the right angle and gone at different angles. It's hyper simplistic, but it creates depth. Art director is Higashi Junichi, who's late on. Yusuke Mizuno as second in command. Art designer Seiki Tamura. Satoshi Hashimoto designing the palette, the color palette, and Makihiro Kondo, who I don't know. Both currently affiliated with WIT. So they're strange contractual situations. Cool. Photography director Kazuto Izumita. Collecting works by directors with exceptional stylistic sensibilities like they're his own Infinity Stones. Not exceptionally high profile, doesn't have super comfortable planning. Pretty tight deadline. Composer Kensuke Ushio. Yeah, alright, that tracks. The appeal was the feeling that anything goes. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Let's go. Oh, wait, I see what? I see Yamada here. Subjective lack of reality proves an asset, based songs on perceived spookiness that drew from other things he imagined in his actual experiences. The mix became the energetic yet disconcerting sound of Dandadan. He was merely the composer, in contrast to the theatrical works of Naoko Yamada where visuals and sound are formulated in unison. There's no denying that the inclusion of Ushio enriches the flavor of about any work. Yeah. Fuga Yamashiro, director under Masaaki Yuasa. Oh, so Mari Motohashi or Nemuri and Fuga Yamashiro were head-to-head under Yuasa as he began to leave Science Saru. He lacks a background in animation specifically, and so he can't lean on quickly framing things out to describe to other artists. So there's a communication barrier there. But he's doubled down in individual qualities. Dandadan's author has taken a liking to calling him an enshitsu otaku, a nerd about the act of technical direction itself, which is cool, because I relate to that, I think. And he's got a deep love for film itself. A nerd, and he's got many ideas. Ooh, I love this. It's important to point out Yamashiro's philosophy because whenever a colorful anime makes the rounds, fans are quick to brand the director as a radical auteur. But that's not only a misguided view that will prevent you from getting the most out of the work, but also a claim that Dandadan's series director has refuted. He believes that he stores techniques that he's previously seen before. He believes himself a technical director. Reminds me of certain artists who have called themselves like a workman-like mangaka. Yeah? Not an artist, an artist's artist, you know? Okay, I think I'm gonna call it there and say that's enough interesting information about Dandadan's production. I went looking for stuff about the OP and found a bit more than I bargained for and wanted to bite off, but I'm glad that I did because I think that it serves to like broaden my viewpoint on the thing. I love when I can feel the layers of creativity sort of all stacked up on top of each other as though I'm looking through different lenses at a thing, and it feels to me like there are a whole bunch of really interesting creative layers and creative lenses stacked on top of each other, all coming together to make this piece of work really fucking cool. I'm excited to see where it goes from here. We've got a premise for a great romantic setup, a great conflicting ideas setup, and the ability to no holds barred do genuinely anything. Like, nothing is off the table because of the content of this episode. We've already broken taboos and broken outside of our reality and expectations. All that we have to do is keep delivering on the insanity, and I expect that this will be a roller coaster ride few of us are likely to forget. That's my take on episode 1. I think it's pretty fucking great. Thanks for watching it with me. I'll see you next week for more. You can catch that episode a little bit early on the Patreon, or I'll see you right here on the YouTube a week from now. Thanks for watching. Dan along with me. This has been episode 1. I'll see you next week for episode 2. Much love. Peace.